So this is the Pan de Muertos, and yes, I'm making it for Cinco de Mayo, even though it's named after a Day of the Dead tradition that happens in November, but we'll eventually get to that. So every year when May 5th rolls around, there's a lot of talk about Mexican independence, but that actually happened like 50 years prior, back in September of 1810. So Cinco de Mayo actually commemorates May 5th, 1862, or the Battle of Puebla. At the time, Napoleon III was trying to expand the French Empire into Mexico while the country was already struggling with massive internal debt. So he sent his professional French army, assuming it would be an easy march to Mexico City. Instead, they were met by General Ignacio Zaragoza and significantly outnumbered the Mexican force at Puebla. But against all odds, the Mexican army held their ground and forced a French retreat. And it was a massive symbolic victory against European imperialism. And so Cinco de Mayo is a massive celebration here in the United States, much more so than Mexico, but it's really become a broader celebration of the large influence of Mexican American culture here in the United States. So you can celebrate it however you want, just really know what you're celebrating. And now the name Pan de Muertos refers to the bread of the dead. It is traditionally made for Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead, and the bread is decorated with bone-shaped strips of dough. And while that holiday has absolutely nothing to do with Cinco de Mayo, the flavors in this drink really bridge that gap between Mexican spirits and tiki traditions in a hopefully interesting way. So the recipe we're looking at is a bit of a departure from the standard margarita. It uses Reposado Tequila and Cointreau, but then it introduces tiki influences like orgeat and pineapple juice. So it's essentially a pineapple influenced margarita served over crushed ice. So it's got a lot of that familiar tiki DNA, but it has that agave backbone. So in honor of Cinco de Mayo, let's make the Pan de Muertos. So to start, we need 2/3 of an ounce of lime juice, 1/2 of an ounce of orgeat, 5/6 of an ounce of pineapple juice, 1/2 of an ounce of Cointreau, and 1 2/3 of an ounce of tequila. We'll then shake this drink with ice and strain over fresh ice. And the garnish I'll be using is mint and a spent lime shell. And with that, the Pan de Muertos comes together. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's good. So I've mentioned before on this channel that tequila has never been my favorite spirit. Growing up, I despised it immensely. And as I've gotten older, I've really gotten into a bit more of these smoky type of spirits. I've spoken at length before about how much I love Mezcal, which is a very close cousin to tequila. And while tequila isn't the first bottle I will reach for in my cabinet, it's becoming a bit more palatable to me over the past few years. So this cocktail it's light, it's refreshing. I know I'm gonna go through all the cliche stuff. It's light, it's refreshing, it's a good drink for a hot day, so on and so forth. I say that all the time about a lot of these cocktails, but it's kind of true, right? Like that's, when I look at cocktails that I want to feature on this channel, I find ones that I believe I'm going to like, ones that I think I'm going to find interesting. And this one I found interesting. And obviously being in Cinco de Mayo is next week. I'm kind of boxed in a little bit as to what I can feature or what I want to feature, right? So obviously I wanted a mezcal or tequila, and I found this drink and I was like, oh, hey, this looks interesting. And then I read the history on it and I did some more research and I found out a bit more about it. I myself knew that Cinco de Mayo was not Mexican Independence Day, but I did not know the full story. And it's actually a really interesting story. And being the history buff that I am, I kept researching it, and I had a giant script for this episode. Like the opening would have been like 9 minutes long. So I really had to scale it back and really just give the Cliff's Notes versions of it. But it is actually a really cool story. So now I know exactly what Cinco de Mayo was about. I've always known what Day of the Dead is about, but it's just really cool knowing that full backstory on the history of it. So if you are a history buff, I highly recommend looking into it. It's super, super cool. But back to the cocktail, it's really good. I found it on Difford's Guide. I find a lot of my drinks on Difford's Guide. So, you know, it's a great resource not only for home bartenders, but professional bartenders, and people just really looking to get into the hobby. It breaks down drinks very easily, and a lot of times what they do is they take older drinks and they kind of adapt them for the modern day. So, but yeah, definitely give this drink a shot at home. Let me know what you thought of it. But yeah, that's really all I got for this one. So if you liked what you watched today, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, with that all being said, happy Cinco de Mayo. I hope wherever you are, the weather is gorgeous. Even though it's night here, it's Vegas. It's gorgeous out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Akoli Maluna. Cheers and enjoy.